Hey guys, welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to talk about the saltwater tank. So it's actually been a little while since I did any fish tank videos, and now, I've been catching up on them, and the last couple of weeks I've been doing fish tank updates on, the 9-gallon and the shell dweller tank. Those tanks are doing so well, but those tanks are over a year old. This tank, simply put, is young. It's new. It's not even a year old. It won't be a year old until December 16th. So, I'm dealing with your basic average beginner first tank problems that everyone deals with. I mean, this is my first saltwater tank. Let's be clear about that. But I've been through this kind of stuff in my freshwater tanks too, and it's just so annoying and so, yeah, that's it. It's just annoying to look at because every time I go look at the tank, it's dirty as hell. It looks dirty as hell. It doesn't look like the pristine aquarium I want it to be. Yet. Simply put, it's going to take a while. It's taken a while to get to this point, and it's going to take a while to fix it. But, the biggest problem I'm having is actually cyanobacteria. It might be dinoflagellants. It should be cyano. But I've been fighting this cyano for a while now, and it's funny, I've gone through all of them. I had green hair algae first, got rid of that. I got brown algae next, I got rid of that. And now I'm dealing with red cyano, and I've been trying to do everything I possibly could think about to get rid of it. Nothing is working. So I'm going to actually try something that I'm not 100% certain on if it's going to work or not. I'm a little scared to use it as well because cyano's not actually an algae. Cyano is a bacteria. But basically, I am going to try this interesting product known as Vibrance for saltwater tanks. They have a fresh salt, fresh marine, and then of course they have a reef tank, which technically my tank isn't a reef tank, but I have a coral in it, so I bought the reef stuff because I'm worried that if I didn't, it would probably do something with my coral, and I don't want that to happen. By the way, the coral is doing fantastic. Look at it. It's doing fantastic. I love my pulsing xenia coral. Now, it's funny. People say, oh, you put this coral in your tank and it'll go all over the place in like 3 days. Blah, blah, blah. My experience with this coral, now realize, first off, I'm not using the black bucket of Red Sea, because the black bucket of Red Sea salt is specifically made for high, not only well established, but more importantly, a lot of coral reef tanks. They have high elements within that bucket of salt to feed the constant corals that need that constant feed, of the elements in that water that constantly get diluted pretty quickly because of the corals. I'm using the blue bucket, which isn't the black bucket. So the blue bucket, it has everything that you would need for a reef tank, but it's not in high levels. I could see in high levels, perhaps, yeah, this coral could easily get out of control. It really could. But in my opinion, and I have seahorses, which obviously seahorses are very messy, very dirty, causing a lot of nitrates and all that other stuff, feeding the coral. With that said, I simply can say this. I'm having progress with the xenia coral. It's growing at a very simple, basic pace. It's not exploding in growth, but I kind of like the fact that it's not exploding in growth. I'm kind of like, okay, let's try to get to grow on a rock and then put the rock somewhere else, and let's just let it do its own thing, you know? Let it spread on its own time. Eventually, it's going to cover that whole midsection of the back. That's what I want. And when it covers the midsection of the back, obviously, it will absorb a lot more nutrition from the water, not only the elements, but more importantly, the stuff that's unfortunately feeding all the algae. So that's that I cannot wait for that coral to spread all over the entire back of the glass. But it is growing at its own pace. It's not exploding in growth, and in my experience, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast because of it. Now, in terms of other corals, I think I might want to try some sea fans or gorgonias at some point, but not till I get this algae thing under control. You know, that's just something I have to do. And this vibrant stuff is supposed to do a couple things. First off, it's supposed to fight algae, make the tank look amazing, but it's also supposed to add good bacteria to keep the other algae from growing. So I'm hoping that this stuff will hopefully fight back against the red slime algae. But I am so worried about putting it in my tank with the seahorses that what I decided to do is with my 3-gallon quarantine tank. Yes, I have a quarantine tank. I'm just going to actually fill that up, and I'm actually going to put my rocks in there. I will have to, you know, put one rock in there at a time, slowly over the course of the next couple of days, but it's all right. If I get the results I want and the seahorses are safe, then I'm fine. And I have, you know, I have kidney pure blue in the tank, so anything that's left on the rock will be eliminated by kidney pure blue. So I'm not worried about putting the rock back in the tank after I tree it. But I am going to try to tree it, not because of the algae, but because of the cyano. Hopefully the bacteria will fight back, bacteria from this vibrance product will fight back the cyano, and then I could put in my tank, and hopefully we'll just continue fighting back the cyano. Plus, if I can get rid of some of the algae on the rock as well, that would be a bonus. But I can't use my macroalgae because I want my macroalgae to be alive. Speaking of macroalgae, and I just, you know, shake it off in a bucket and scrape it with a toothbrush, you know, to clean it. But the macroalgae is doing fantastic. I have so much in this tank, it's hilarious. And the seahorses love it too. It's amazing that I have this much macroalgae and still have this much pest algae to deal with. But it is what it is, you know? But yeah, that is basically the update. The seahorses are absolutely 100% loving life. You know, they don't care that the tank is dirty. They just want to swim around and eat. They look around for food, and they come up to me, swimming around, saying hi to me every time I go by the tank. It sucks for me to look at and see that the tank is dirty, and for me to, you know, constantly try to do something about it and for it not to work out. Hopefully this vibrant stuff does work out for me. But the seahorses, though, they're loving life. They go all over the macros, swim all across the tank, you know, eating food and just enjoying life. And the xenia coral is growing so well. The bengai are so much fun to watch as well. What's really funny is I find that the bengai and the seahorse, no joke, they play hide and go seek with each other. Because the seahorse will go and hide and act like a rock, and then the bengai will go around the rock looking for the seahorse. I'm not kidding. They actually do that. I'm not kidding. My fish actually play hide and seek. And the Bengai are always a little surprised whenever they run by the rock and the rock moves. Obviously, it's a seahorse. They now know that it's a fish, but the fact that it looks like a rock to them probably surprises them every time they go by the rock. It's really fun because they will actually do that. They actually go and play pretty much hide and go seek with each other. It's crazy. And then of course I have the snails, and all of the snails are doing fantastic, eating up. And yes, I probably should get more snails to deal with more of the algae, because I only have 3 algae ear snails and 3 carnivorous snails that eat leftover meat from the seahorses. So yeah, my cleanup crew is the 3 meat ear snails, and then the Bengai, the 2 Bengai, and then the 3 algae ears. And I probably should get more snails in this tank to help me keep the tank a little bit cleaner. But honestly, I have to say that I'm quite happy with the way this tank is going, even though I'm dealing with cyanobacteria. I'm actually really happy that I have this tank, and this is just, it's just a phase of the tank. The cyano thing is just a phase of the aquarium, and eventually I'll overcome it. Eventually it will go away. And I do have coralline algae growing in this tank now as well, and eventually that will hopefully spread across the tank as well. I cannot wait for that to happen, to one day have that just covering the entire bottom of the tank. I think that's going to be so cool. In other words, I'm just sitting back enjoying the tank, waiting for the day when it just is perfect. But right now, I'm enjoying the fish. I'm enjoying the experience of it. I can't say anything else. I love this tank. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments below about any tips that you can think of to help me fight cyanobacteria. Because I tried just about everything except the red slime maneuver stuff, because I'm scared of using that stuff in my fish tank with seahorses, because it takes a lot of oxygen, and seahorses, they're kind of, ancient beings that don't really have good lungs or good stomach even, so I'm always trying to be careful with the tank in terms of chemicals. So yeah, I don't know. I hope the vibrant stuff works out. But let me know if there's any tips out there that you can help me fight cyanobacteria. And next week I'll probably do another update of how the vibrant stuff has been working. Hopefully it will work. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out for now.